everyone, it's Jamie here. I am with Shelby Jonse of Wander and Graze, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she's done with her business to kind of move things online and make the shifts that she needs to do to help people during this time. So Shelby, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey.
So can you explain your business a little bit pre-COVID?
Okay. So I build grazing tables and grazing boards for events and happy hours, corporate catering, as well as personal events. And obviously with COVID, people aren't having events and there isn't corporate catering.
So how long were you doing this beforehand? How long has your business been up and running?
It'll be actually like a year next month. So
wow.
I started in April last year. What?
But happy anniversary.
Thanks. Yeah. So so I started it in April last year. Okay. And then so up until then I had just been kind of growing my business, and it was really consistently growing. And I was just seeing a lot of traction and a lot of repeat customers, and I was kind of getting passed around in the business community as like a good option for happy hours. So so it was fun, and definitely I feel like when COVID hit, I was like, okay, we're not, all my events.
I'm not doing that.
yeah, all my events canceled. I had some pretty big things that were lined up that I knew were going to be postponed or canceled. Fortunately, I've been able to, like, most of my customers have said, like, I just want to keep the credit and use it at a later date, which has been really awesome. Yeah. So, so that was a big change. So I had been kind of like, so usually people just go online to my website, they can place an order. They've always been able to do that. And then if they have larger events, usually they'll contact me to like kind of recommendations around what they want to order, how they should build out a grazing table. And usually I'll send them a quote or my recommendations, and they can still just like go online.
Right.
Which is great. But with all of this, I was kind of chatting with another caterer that's out of California. She and I kind of like collaborate on things, different things, and like kind of best practices and stuff, which has been really great to like have somebody who kind of does the similar things that we can kind of chat about and talk.
Yes, what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
So what have you done to shift during this time? What have you done during this time to shift?
So so when all this hit, she called me and she was like, hey, she messaged me and said like, hey, can we have a phone call? I was like, yeah, totally. So we were just chatting, and she was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to change this? Or like, are we going to be able to stay in business? Like, what's appropriate? Because obviously it's not appropriate to be making grazing tables. I mean,
exactly what people need right now.
Yeah, exactly. So so one thing that we decided to do, both of us, is actually doing date night boxes, which I had done a little bit of, and it was kind of just like by request only by my regular customers that reached out and said like, hey, I have like a surprise date with my husband, or I wanted to bring something over for a wine night with my best friend. Like, can I just have some, like, a small option? So I had been doing those very, very sporadically, kind of here and there. So what we decided was I started doing date night boxes in like big runs with free porch delivery. So, and I only advertise it, it's not orderable online. I only advertise it 24 hours in advance, just because I'm trying to be nimble. And if something comes, currently I'm allowed to do deliveries because I'm a food service, but that could change. And I don't want to be taking orders of things that I can't fulfill. And I also, with me having to like go to the grocery shop or store and everything like that, obviously I could get exposed. And so on top of me taking like a lot more measures around cleanliness and like washing everything as soon as I get home from the store, and washing again right before I use, and just making sure everything's super sanitized. I myself am just like worried that if I were to even remotely get sick, I would just have to stop because I'm doing food.
So as extreme as the cases that we're hearing about, still like, stops your business.
For sure. And so that's kind of where I decided, I was like, okay, date night boxes will be a great option. There's something that can like keep me going, and I could use up the product that I had on hand. But I can keep it nimble by only doing it, taking orders 24 hours in advance. And that way I can just like fill up a day
Right.
and spend 6 hours building them and then 3 hours driving around delivering. And I invoice them online. So there's not even a transaction that has to happen. It's like a push delivery. Yeah. And that's been really good. It's been good income. It's definitely like more work for less profit than I was doing with corporate catering, but it's keeping me in business, and it's definitely it's had the unintended consequence of having amazing exposure with social media.
I'm sure that's the whole thing with this that I keep talking to clients about is nobody wants to be in our situation right now.
Yeah.
But everybody's online. So, I mean, if you shift your business in the right way and you're filling a need and there's a huge opportunity to get in front of that many more people, where once things go back to some type of normal, I mean, it could be huge for a lot of businesses.
Yeah, I think I've gotten over 200 Denver-based followers on my social media in the last week and a half.
Wow.
I have like, you can see, when you see like your views on your website, like usually it's in like the 200 to 300 range, and it's been like 700-800 this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think people are bored. They're online. They get something cute and pretty and like fun, and they're able to have like show off that they had a cute date night, and so they're posting it. All their friends are seeing it. I mean, when I posted one on Sunday, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. It was only my second time doing date night boxes, and I said, okay, I'm going to do one on Monday. Drop-offs are going to be from 3 to 6. I'm taking orders now. And within 2.5 hours, I had to close it out because I had too many.
Wow.
And then I had enough extra people who I'd already booked out my Monday that on Wednesday, I contacted all the people who just barely didn't make the cut. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do one on Wednesday. I'm not going to announce it on social media. Do you want in? And was able to do a whole nother day.
That is a really cool idea. And I love the idea of like having kind of like a wait list.
Yeah.
So that way, I like that you're not booking far out because we don't know how this is going to change and affect things. But then that way, you've got your list of people who do want to do it if it's available.
Yeah. And that's been great. Like it's like a lot of managing like messages and social media and things like that. So it's definitely I feel like I've been on my phone nonstop, but
but so is everyone else, which is why they're finding you.
It's just been super fun, and it's great to like kind of bring like this fun idea to people's homes in a time where it's like, what are we doing?
And I love it because date night's one of those things I think most of us don't take advantage of enough when things are normal.
Yeah.
Right now, like we're all stuck in the house together. Like it's that much more important to have that time because we're not focusing on it. We're all paying attention to the news. We're all trying to run our businesses. We're all trying to teach our kids. My son's right downstairs right now doing his homework for class. And, like there's just so many moving parts that we're not taking time to focus on our relationship.
Yeah.
And so this is like a really cool way to kind of break up, like we're stuck at home anyway and just have fun with it. So with your packages, what are you delivering? What does that look like?
So it's literally like a 9x9 box. There's a wood board that you can slide out. It's actually like a like what I put all my boards on. But yeah, so I kind of can customize them. So sometimes I do vegetarian or vegan cheeses, but the typical board comes with 2 cheeses, 2 meats, fresh fruits, olives, nuts, chocolate.
Awesome.
So it's kind of got a lot of stuff. It's really densely like packed in there. And I've been working with, there's 2 ladies that own this like local company called Flour Co. And they're this great cracker company. I mean, they make the most beautiful crackers I've ever seen. And one of them I had kind of been working with them for a little bit, but they had a huge grocery order that fell through with COVID. That like literally had already made it. It was like completely done. And so now they have all this inventory that they're trying to offload. And I was like, okay, well, give me a couple of cases. I'll see if I can add them on with my.
And so they're like finished crackers, like the product is done. They don't have any. Wow.
Yeah, they're in packaging, they're everything.
Wow.
So which has been really cool because my customers love it. It's like also nice aesthetic. It's beautiful. It's delicious. And I've been able to like have a really easy like, hey, $5 add-on. Do you want to put these like crackers in?
Well, I love supporting local, finding another company that's struggling during this time and finding a way to help them out while you're doing this. That's awesome. So if people want to find you for these how do they follow you on Facebook or wherever you announce it? So for a date night, they can get in on these packages.
Yeah, so I do announce it on both my Facebook and my Instagram account. The one that sold out in 2.5 hours, I posted on both my stories and my
Okay.
feed. And so I get more traction. I get a lot of people who view my feeds, or like percentage wise to followers on my Facebook. My Facebook, I have a lot less followers, but more people see my like feed on Facebook, and then more people see my stories on Instagram typically.
Yep.
So when I did it on both, I was kind of getting hit on social media from both directions, and that's when it filled up like super fast. So I've decided that I'm going to switch it up. So it'll be like either I'll post it in my feed or I'll post it in my stories.
Okay.
Which is good too, because I've had a ton of people reaching out and saying like, hey, how can I get these? When are you doing it next? And I'm like, okay, well, like due to COVID, I'm trying to stay nimble. I'll announce and start taking orders 24 hours in advance. So just keep an eye on my stories, keep an eye on my feed. And that's been a good way to like keep engagement up.
I love that. And it ties you right back into having people pay attention to what you're doing online.
Yeah.
So without, intending to, that's that's awesome.
Yeah. So the first time I did it, I was like, I had no idea that my social media was going to blow up the way it did. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
with I guess since you're announcing it on social media, when you started this, who were the main people? Was it a lot of people that have been clients in the past that first saw it? Or was it really just people who've randomly been following you and like found you recently? I
think it was a good mix of both. I think actually the nice thing about the date night boxes is I had a lot of followers that were people who were like, I love what you do. It's so cute. But the price point of a full board was just outside, and they were like, it would only be like a special occasion, like for my birthday or something.
Yeah.
But the date night boxes are like a lower price point, and I think people are at a place where they're trying to support local businesses and they want to treat themselves. And so to be like, oh, what? I can get one of the boards that I wanted to get from you for a year since I've been following you, but now I can get one for $40. Like a lot of people messaged me and said, like, I'm so excited I can finally try this. I've been following you forever. So
that's awesome. I love the idea of it. And I just think it's such a good thing right now when we're all just kind of stuck to have something fun to do, not just the typical every night figure out dinner and the whole process. So
like, what's frozen that we're gonna pull out today?
Exactly. What have I frozen in the last few weeks to thaw out? So what else with this, once things change and go back to some type of normal, do you see this becoming a section of your business where maybe you do some more personal type things, or is this just something to get you through times right now?
It kind of depends. I think right now, like, it may end up going back to being something that's like a more like maybe I do it like twice a month or something. Right. Just because this has been nice, because a lot of my business that dropped off was corporate catering, which is like catering, which was Monday through Friday. And my weekends are still kind of like, I still have families ordering boards because they want something big enough to feed everybody in their home, things like that over the weekends. But the date night boxes, I've kind of been sticking to like a weekday things for those. So it kind of depends on just like how business catering comes back and what that looks like.
Right.
Honestly, I don't even know, grazing tables are awesome and they're fun, but are people still going to be inclined to do that? Like, is that going to be something they want to do when everyone's like now way more like, when people are like unsure about germs and unsure about having a food item that's laid out that lots of people are going to interact with. So yeah, I think I'm just trying to like figure out how to like stay nimble and change with the times. Ideally, it'd be great if I could go back to doing like more corporate catering and doing date night boxes as like a one-off for regulars and things like that, or people when they request it. Before when I was doing them, I was like, they have to be picked up. Like, it's just not worth the price point for me to like.
Yeah, it's a lot more time on your end.
But
have you run into any issues right now when you're out shopping in terms of getting some of the things that you're usually including?
I feel like I go to a lot of different types of places. And so I've been able to just kind of shift, like if this place doesn't have it, okay, this place might have it. One of the cheeses I always use is a manchego, and I was having trouble finding manchego for a couple weeks, and I think it may have been, it's a Spanish cheese. And I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, I don't know. So I switched to a different type of cheese, but then I found the manchego again. I just bought like all that they had.
Awesome.
So yeah, I was like, okay, well, hopefully I keep doing these for a few weeks, because but yeah, so that's been good. And the nice thing is with my date night boxes, I'm always switching out produce and trying to keep things fresh and like seasonal as much as possible. So it hasn't been that bad to just be like, okay, well, they don't have plums this week, but I'm just going to use something else. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think it's such a great idea. I'm going to have to start looking for the next one. If people want to follow you on social, how do they find you?
So Facebook and Instagram, it's just Wander and Graze. So grazing, like walking around grazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Great.
Bye.